Hotter than diddly, but is that some good stuff. Hi, this is Terry. I've been maintaining a 180-pound weight loss for over a year with a clean, whole foods, meat-focused, low-carb, low-calorie approach. So something random I want to make. I'm going to make I have this shredded rutabaga, and I am actually going to boil it for a little while. So I'm going to add a little salt to it. But I'm going to make that. I'm going to try to boil it from shredded, and we're going to see how that turns out. So I'll let you know how it works out as time goes. So something I'm going to try with all the leftover rendered fat and the beef pieces. I'm going to try to make like a beef gravy. So I warmed this back up in the microwave to reheat all that oil and chunks of burger. And I'm going to put both of these, I'm going to put this into this skillet and I'll be back. I got 2 of them to do, so I'll be back when the other one's done. So you know how you go somewhere and they have a nice roast and then afterwards a gravy. So I wanted to pull that meat out of it and that rendered fat out of it. I'm actually going to pull some of the extra fat out because we're going to make a gravy and we don't want our gravy to be like all just rendered fat. So I'm going to pour some of this rendered fat out of here, and then and we're going to make us, like a gravy, like Grandma made a roast and she made a gravy out of the leftover stuff at the bottom. Okay, so now I'm just going to heat this back up, get it good and hot, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add in some heavy cream because you can have yourself a nice gravy out of this. So like I said, we're just going to heat this up. If you cook sausage, you could do this with the leftover sausage that's in the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to heat this back up and I'll be back. Okay, so this is heating up really well and it's sizzling, so trying to kind of get any extra moisture out from the fat. So now we are going to go ahead and add in some heavy cream. And this would be good to pour over your, any kind of meat that you have. So just pour in some cream if you want. Or if you want to use water, you can do that too. But, and I have not added any salt or pepper yet. So just kind of depends on what you're looking at. And I think I am going to add some water to this. Just a little bit of water. So it's not tons of heavy cream. Just a second. Okay, I got that added. And now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And some black pepper. We're just going to let that kind of cook and thicken up. I'm going to turn it down a little bit and just kind of let it reduce and just until it's kind of a gravy. Now you could also add your glucomannan to thicken it up, or you could add some xanthan gum, whatever fits your lifestyle. But this would be some doggone good gravy. And I'll show you it when it's done. Let's go on and give it a taste. It has not gone but maybe 2 minutes. Let's give it a taste and see what we think. This will be just like a sausage gravy, only it's beef gravy. Oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. So now I just need to let it reduce and it'll be great to use on whatever I want to use it on. Now I just so happen to have some ground beef right here. So I can put a little of this right on my ground beef. Just a little bit. And then let's give it a taste. Hold on. Okay, let's give it a try. This is just plain ground beef, and I didn't even season it. I kind of forgot, but I think that gravy might be good enough. Let's see. That's good. So you got that gravy sensation and gravy taste and texture over ground beef and still carnivore. Nice. So something I'm experimenting with, after I made my burgers today, I added some heavy cream and made like a gravy out of the rendered fat and then the leftover meat chunks. Well, then that's great for carnivore, but then on days whenever I want to have like mashed potatoes, I know I have my onion gravy, but since I had this going, I thought, well, let's experiment. So I added some of the unsweetened original almond milk, and now I'm slowly adding some glucosamine into it because I want to mash up the rutabaga. And I'm going to use this as a gravy on top of it. So it's just ground beef, heavy cream, and some almond milk. But for the carnivore, I cannot use almond milk, so let's taste this. So, but for my keto, I can. So let me see. You know it needs more salt. I'm just trying to add a little bit of glucosamine at a time. So this will be more like a milk gravy, like a saw. They call that sawmill gravy. I've heard them called that. I've heard it called a sausage, only this would be a beef gravy because I use ground beef. That's better. So now I'm just going to let this simmer until it thickens up a little bit. And then whenever these get done, then I will mash the rutabagas and I can have that for supper. About every 5 minutes I come back and see, is it thick enough? Do I want it a little thinner? And if I do want a little thinner, I just, oh man. Oh, that was the wrong, oh boy. Well, it ain't the first time I've done that before. If y'all remember that shrimp glue situation, well, this is going to be like paste, but, well, it'll still taste good. So now I just got to stir it up, and I will not be adding any more glucosamine into this. But in a few minutes, this will set up like glue, and you will be able to speckle your walls with it. But that's all right. So then what I'll do is I'll transport it or transfer it to another container and let it wait. And then whenever my rutabaga is done, I can put some on the rutabaga for supper tonight. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But that's all right. I'll let this go for a couple more minutes. All right, so there's the texture right there. And actually, if it stayed like this, that's like the milk gravy I grew up having when I was a kid. It was just a nice, dense, thick texture, and you put that over biscuits or mashed potatoes. Let's see what it tastes. That's good. Maybe a little more pepper. So that's just with the leftover chunks from the hamburgers. Just maybe go a little lighter on the glucosamine. Or I could add more liquid to it, but this is good enough. I'm not going to worry about it. So now I'm going to find a container to put this in. And whenever that's done, I'll be able to put some on that. And then I'll have some extra to put on my ground beef whenever I want to. So let me put this in a container, and I'll be back when the rutabaga is done boiling and ready to be chopped up. I'm going to pull out one of these little strips of rutabaga. This was some rutabaga that I had shredded. I just want to pull out a couple pieces and see. I just don't want it al dente. Ooh, that's good. That is good. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to try my immersion blender and see if it makes too big of a mess. Clean this off and I'll be right back. Yeah, let's put some of this gravy on it. Put about a spoonful of it on there. Like I said, think milk gravy. Think biscuit and gravy. Sausage gravy. Not onion. Not the onion and mushroom kind. All right, let's give it a taste. Okay, let's give her a taste. Got to get some of the meat on there, some of the gravy, some of the rutabaga. Get all of it on there. Let's see what we think. You done already know. You know. You just know. Great, great combination. Rutabaga with ground beef. Hotter than diddly, but is that some good stuff. Yes, yes, yes. So if you bake the frozen burgers and use the leftover meat chunks and grease, you can turn it into a milky gravy, just like sausage gravy. And you can put that over whatever you want. And use that along with a little glucomannan, and you will have the best yumminess ever. Here it is on top of the ground beef. If you want to taste, see what that looks like. Took some on there and put it on ground beef. Good stuff, Maynard. Okay, bye. So I have 2 servings left over. They're about that thick, 2 inches. But it's a pretty fatty gravy, so I don't necessarily want this to be a large amount over something, because it's definitely going to be adding a lot of extra fat. So I'm going to pop this in the freezer, and then I can pop them out into a Ziploc bag when they're frozen. So these are frozen. I'm pretty sure they're frozen. Yep, they're frozen into little discs. And so this is the gravy that I made up. I am going to just pop them out, and each one will go in its own little Ziploc baggie. And then whenever I want to use them, I will put them in a container in the refrigerator and let them defrost. And then I can heat them up with my meat when I'm ready to eat. So, and then so I've got, like I said, these have a lot of fat in them, so I did not need a big portion. So this will be enough that it's going to add just some fun texture and flavor to whatever I put it on. I could put it on meat, I could put it on vegetables. And then I have a bigger Ziploc bag, and it says milk gravy. I'll know that it's not like milk, but it's heavy cream. So I'll know that that's the taste that it's supposed to have. So there we go. And that is the end of our gravy and how I'm going to store them.